Hi, my name is David P. Shapiro. I'm the owner and managing partner of the law office of David P. Shapiro, located in San Diego, California, where my firm helps good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. In this video, I want to help you out there identify what you can do if you find yourself going to trial on a case, how you could help in your defense, and some good questions to ask your lawyer or your legal team in preparation for trial. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that you hire a quality, locally experienced if you could afford to do so. But the advice in this video is pretty much the same whether you have a court-appointed attorney, whether a public defender or a private attorney who takes government contract work, or whether you hire a private attorney. And the first thing you want to be able to do is you want to have a basic trust of that lawyer that he or she or they are going to do everything in their power within reason, obviously, to get you the best possible outcome. And you want to be crystal clear with them. You know, if it's a situation where you're going to trial on this charge and there's nothing on earth, whether you're factually innocent or not, there's nothing on earth that you would ever consider plead guilty to, communicate that with them. Have that discussion well in advance so that your attorney knows when they're having their interaction with the prosecutor, when they're having their interaction with the judge, what you would or would not consider resolving your case for, because it's not a great look for your attorney, but equally, if not more importantly, it's not a great look for you if there's all this back and forth and you and your attorney visibly are not on the same page, and then it looks bad to the DA, it looks bad to the judge, and then it may eliminate any chance of favorably resolving your case, short of taking the case all the way to trial in the future. One other thing you want to ask about is, okay, what does trial look like? Is this going to be a 3-day trial? Is this going to be a 3-week trial? What's expected of me as the client? Do you believe it's in my best interest to testify at trial? Why or why not? A lot of times people will come to us and say, well, you know, I really didn't understand why the attorney did this, why the attorney did that. Now, there are a lot of things that an attorney may or may not do that are strategy decisions. And quite frankly, you, even as the criminally accused, even as the defendant, do not have control over, right? That's a strategy decision. That's why you're hiring, or that's why you're selecting, or that's why you're having these experienced attorneys appointed to represent you, because they should, keyword, know what they're doing enough to make good decisions for you, good decisions for your case, good decisions for your future, okay? But there's nothing wrong with asking, hey, I have a question. How come we're not doing this? How come we're not doing that? Not necessarily in an accusatory way, not in an aggressive way, but just because you have a right to know, right? A right to understand. Now, maybe not in the middle of trial. Hey, what's going on? How come we're doing this? You know, but in preparation for trial, hey, I have a couple of questions. Come to these meetings prepared, because your attorney will know that you're prepared, you've invested the time, and he or she should spend the time with you answering those questions, explaining for the most part their general strategy and why they think it may or may not be in your best interest to testify at trial, what the risks are, what the benefits are, and to help you make that decision, because that is the decision that is 100% yours, whether or not to testify at trial. But that's a decision you need to rely on, or at least you should rely on, the counsel of your attorney and a law firm and a legal team representing you. You also want to make a decision as to, you know, hey, who is going to testify at this trial, right? So you could mentally and emotionally prepare yourself. You know, we have a firm that we do a lot of violent or sexual assault type cases. And sometimes, you know, the last thing we want, obviously, is our client to be all bent out of shape about, oh, I didn't know so-and-so was going to come in and testify. I can't be there. I can't have them, you know, look at me in the eye and testify, because that's going to cause too much anxiety, too much stress on me as the accused. Well, you know, you want to have that discussion too, right? Because that may be a reason maybe not to go to trial. That may be something, if that factors into your equation as the accused so much, then you might want to try and resolve the case if your attorney could do so favorably. So there's so many different things you want to know. You want to know, hey, is it beneficial to have friends and family and support? Usually the answer is yes. Sometimes maybe not. It depends. That's a strategy decision a lot of times your attorney will make. Who are the people that are showing up? Are they going to behave themselves? How they're going to dress? How they're going to look? How are you going to interact with them in the hallway, if at all? You know, the last thing we want as an attorney is for you to be talking about the case with, you know, your brother, your mom, your dad, whoever in the hallway, because you shouldn't be doing that, number one. Number two is you have to be mindful of the effect that that could have potentially on a juror. So that's another discussion. And a lot of times we see that clients, prior to us having that discussion with them, think that, a jury trial will be like it is on TV, like a couple hours. Like, you're charging all this money for what? It's going to be like a day. And no, because we methodically will walk you through what to expect. This is what will likely happen on the first day. This is what will happen on the second day. We'll pick a jury. Before that, we'll do motions in limine, pretrial motions. Then we'll pick a jury. A jury will take a half day for this type of case. For your case, it may take 3 days. All those factors go in to really map things out. And you want to know that so you could mentally prepare as much as possible heading into the trial. And you want to have that discussion no later really in a felony case than after the preliminary hearing, because you want to make sure that, okay, what's the next step here? Are we going to try and resolve this case if there's something worth resolving it for, or are we all in for whatever reason that may be, whether you're factually innocent, whether it's just a proof problem, or whether you just cannot, whether because of a career implication or because you just will not voluntarily plead guilty to something that could have such dire consequences for your freedom in your future. Be on that same page with your attorney. Keep your communications thorough. Keep your communications well-intentioned. Don't necessarily be, say, every 6 minutes you have a thought, send an email to an attorney, because what's going to happen is that's going to break their flow too. And then they're going to be choppy in their thought process. They're going to be scattered in their thought process a lot of times. And, you may get an email back and have your question answered like that sometimes, but is that really the right way that the attorney should be handling their case, handling their preparation, handling everything related to you, handling client control, quite frankly, moving forward? So, hope this video has been helpful if you find yourself facing criminal charges, progressing towards trial. Couple things to keep in mind, couple things to be discussing with your criminal defense attorney, whether court appointed, whether privately retained. If you have any questions about any type of criminal case, particularly in San Diego, particularly as it starts developing towards trial, you can always give my firm a call. We're just one phone call away at 619-295-3555, 619-295-3555. Again, David Shapiro, San Diego criminal lawyer.